Hey everybody, as we record this right now, it is 4:08 in the morning in Portland, Oregon. We are driving back home from the vet. Sherman has passed away, and because we have a long ride home, instead of crying our eyes out on the ride home, Professor Aubrey and I are going to try and talk things out. So this may get a little emotional, and there's a very good possibility that we're doing this and we'll listen back and we may not release it. But if you do, just please understand, under the circumstances, we are very much emotional. But Professor Aubrey, tell us about Sherman. When did you adopt him?
It is almost exactly Sherman's 16th birthday. It is his birthday in September of 2005. So he's 16.
Nice. September 2005. That was 3 months into living in Sacramento, California for me. That was kind of a hellhole.
Interesting. It was... Whoa.
Jackass semi.
Sorry, what were we saying?
I was mentioning at that particular place in time, I was in Sacramento, California.
Oh, right. I had moved to Portland to go to law school, and my partner at the time and I adopted Sherman right after I finished all my classes at law school. So it was December 2005.
Was he like 1 or 2 years old, or was he a kitten?
He was a baby kitten. He was about 6 weeks old. I got him at Oregon Humane Society. And I picked him because there was like a baby gate and then a door for the kitten room. Mm-hmm. And there was a room full of kittens. And so they'd open the door, bend over, grab a kitten, and then close the door. It was their way of keeping all the kittens in the kitten room.
Right.
So Sherman, being an extra smart kitten, would get between the door and the baby gate while the people were gone, so that when they opened the door, he would go running down the hallway. And as I sat in the Oregon Humane Society waiting to see a kitten, and not at all Sherman, just another kitten, I wanted to see a kitten, they were like yelling at Snuggles, like, "Snuggles, you crazy cat, get back here."
His original, they called him Snuggles in there?
They called him Snuggles in there, yeah.
Oof.
In the lockup. In the clink, as they say.
Yeah, Phil, funny enough, has his name in jail was Jared.
Jared! I can't believe that was his name.
Yeah, and I do remember his picture on the Humane Society, and I purposely avoided him when I went there to see the other cats in person because they put a stupid bow tie on him.
And you were like, I don't want a Republican conservative cat.
No, he looked too like fancy, like he would, like I would put down the food that I could afford for him, and he'd be like lifting his nose up in the air and like prancing off.
Like a Mr. Belvedere kind of situation.
A fancy cat, yes.
But it turned out he was just a working class stiff like us.
Yes, and in another life, maybe a good Southern gentleman.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Now, what are some funny stories of Sherman as a kitten?
Well, Sherman was a crazy kitten, so he was very energetic, and he liked to attack everything, including people's feet and ankles and hands and heads if you would let him. He was very aggressive and just always a barrel full of monkeys to play with.
Yeah, and obviously when I first met him, he was a little more subdued thanks to age, but even then I still brought out those moments of hyperness out of him with the tap game.
Yes, you figured out how to press his buttons so that he would play with you.
Yeah, I still remember that time when we had Karen over, and he was hell-bent on rubbing his head on the guitar stand, and I didn't want him to knock over the guitars because he had did that before. And I didn't want to pick him up, though, because he'd get mad. I wanted him to, like, make the decision to go away. So I did the tap thing, and it was funny because he would, like, ignore me, and then get pissed, chase me into the bedroom, and then go back to the guitars and do it again.
Yes, that's very Sherman behavior.
Yes, so, yeah, I think you may have, I don't know if you mentioned it on the show before, but tell folks the adventure he had when he went on a little 4-day vacation.
Well, I used to let him go outside in a couple places that I lived in Portland. When he was a young man, he just was so rambunctious that I had to get him out of the house. And so I used to put him out in the morning and I would bring him home in the evening. And one time he just didn't come home in the evening. So I looked for him for 4 days. I talked to all my neighbors. I was like beside myself with worry. I thought surely he got in a box truck and was in Florida by now. And like I had all of these terrible thoughts about what might have happened to him. And then 4 days later, he just walks in the backyard like nothing's ever happened. Like, hey, what's up? And so I had put out flyers and talked to a lot of people in the neighborhood about him being gone. And so I decided when he came home that I'd put him on his leash. He had a halter and a leash. And we'd go around the neighborhood and I'd show everybody that Sherman was home. And so we were doing that and we got to the door of Sloan's bar. Sherman stops, gets up on his hind legs, puts his front paws on the door and says, meow, like he's been hanging out in the bar for the last 4 days with all of the bar patrons.
Now, did you go in and confirm that?
It was closed at the time, so I did not, no.
Gotcha. But that definitely does sound like something you would do. Like, these people were so nice. They gave me all kinds of food. Let's go in here.
Need burgers. Burgers, mama.
Yeah. Yeah. What other stories you got about him?
Well, he just terrorized all my friends when I first got him and he was a kitten and I would have people over, he would just literally attack them. Like it was, at first, everybody had the experience of being like, oh, Sherman's so cute and funny. He's like so funny. He's so funny. He's really hilarious because he would just attack and attack and attack with no mercy.
Now, was it his usual, like, happy, like the normal, like, I want to play with you attack, or was he pissed?
No, it was the normal I want to play with you attack, which looks to many people who don't understand Sherman as if he's attacking you.
Yeah, that was a thing, like, when I first met him, because when I first met him, he was a little on the chunkier side at that time, and that was when I was just getting to know his vocal mannerisms, because, like, when he was ready to play with you and be aggressive, you know, he would give a meow before he'd do that. It's like, it's on! No, just me, like, just the way he did it. Yeah, just almost to 16 years. I mean, that is a nice, long old age for a cat.
I always wanted him to live, like, an unnaturally long time. Like Sherman, he refused to leave, but he was, like, definitely ready to go. Like, I have absolutely no question in my mind that we did absolutely everything possible to give Sherman every opportunity to enjoy life.
We did, up until the very end, and yeah, just, you can tell, like, you probably are in the same spot to where you've seen, like, older family members in the hospital, and, you know, they know it, you know it, that it's almost their time, I guess, and yeah. I don't know. And folks, again, it's 4:17 in the morning, and we just had a pretty traumatic night here, so we are trying our best to talk it out. But what a guy! What a guy!
Such a great guy, and every cat I've ever met has been a great person.
I agree. I mean, there was one cat I had back in my 20s that was a bit of a dick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, his name was Sebastian.
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah, that was the first problem. And, I got him from an ad in the paper. And, I should have run away first because the owners declawed his front paws. And that made him really aggressive.
That would make you fucking pissed off and aggressive if you were a cat.
Yeah, so he was just... And also, too, admittedly, obviously, he didn't know what was going on with an adoption. It was suddenly a new place, new environment. Everybody because cats are very much, they get into a routine. They're territorial. It was brand new everything for him. So I get why he was pissed. I didn't take it personally or anything like that, but he was the only one I never really got along with. Now, we've brought up Peach many times on the show before, and she was definitely a character too, but unlike Sebastian, she did show signs of, just the thawing out, because with most cats, cats are the ultimate consent machines, and if you do something that they don't want to do, they're going to let you know it. Some just may walk away, some may scratch and hiss at you, but they're going to let you know if they don't want to do what you want them to do.
Absolutely, they will. And Sherman was the same way. I made him do all kinds of wacky stuff, but, he took it all. He didn't do anything he didn't want it to do.
Yeah, I do remember the other day, the last time he ended up seeing Batty. The name I gave to the cat that I thought was a bat. It was funny because the cat got onto the neighbor's fence, and the neighbor's fence the way it's positioned, it has 2x4s on top of it, so a cat could hop up onto it and just sit there if they want. And Batty did. Batty got up on the fence and just like that, and Sherman was getting pissed off. The window was open right next to the fence, so I picked up Sherman to bring him to the couch so I could close the window, and then he just gives the loudest hiss I've ever heard, but it wasn't at me. It was, "Oh no, let me go, I'm gonna get that motherfucker," type of But because we've talked about it on the show, we've known he's been having some health issues the past couple months here, and what's made me happy, I guess, and I know what's made you happy, is the fact that he has had that final time to just kick back, relax one more time with us at home, and he did.
He really did. So when he got sick about a month ago, you just know with an older cat that you never know.
It's on borrowed time. And so he got real sick. We were able to stabilize him so we could bring him home. I'm so glad that we did. He had a good month with us after that. And now we're here.
Now we're back home.
Yeah. And it's going to be quiet.
Yeah.
But, if anything, at the end of this, folks, if you have a pet in your life, a cat, a dog, a mouse, a rat, a snake, a gerbil, whatever you have, go to that animal right now and pet them, hug them, show them some love. Even though animals don't have full awareness that humans do, of course, they are very much emotional creatures like anybody else, and they appreciate when the important people in their lives show them love. So take some time out of your day, show your pet some love and affection for us. Does that sound good?
That sounds great. Love on your pets.
Yes. Anything else you wanted to say about Sherman before we wrap up here?
No, just, I really appreciate the people who work in veterinary medicine, and they're always there, have always been there throughout Sherman's life to help him when he's been feeling bad. And that's, I think, a real calling, and I just really appreciate everybody who's done that with their life, because all of us pet owners need those people who are around to take care of our pets.
Exactly. So if you are listening and you work in the veterinarian industry, we definitely send you our thanks, because a lot of times you probably have somewhat of a thankless job too.
Yeah. I mean, you only see pets when they're sick, right? So
yeah, and it's great when you can get them better, but being able to have the conversations every night that they had to have with us tonight, I'm sure is not fun.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up here. Again, bonus episode. We wanted to just give you all an update. So thank you all for listening. And Wednesdays and Saturdays are our usual time. So stay tuned to this podcast space.
Yep, we got some stuff for your ear holes.
Your ear holes. And maybe your other holes too. Hey.
Hey, yo.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Subscribe to Friends Talking Nerdy on iTunes, the Google Play Music Store, as well as Spotify. Remember to support Friends Talking Nerdy on Patreon. Goodbye, darling.